Hi guys, and today I'm going to be starting a new Walking Dead What If series. It's what if Rick never went into a coma? Now, I have a lot of ideas for this what if. So let's start. So we see Shane and Rick and the other cops, like Officer Lamb and the other guys. They're all taking out the thieves. And this time, Rick never gets shot. And Rick and Shane are able to take out them way easier because Rick never got shot. So the last guy that shot Rick, that would never happen. Instead, I feel like he would have shot one of the random cops. And it's the day the outbreak started. Rick's at his house with Carl and Lori. So, but when the second Rick finds out about this virus, and Rick calls Shane and he tells him that there's a new virus going on, and he tells him to pick him, Carl, and Lori up. And Shane arrives at Rick's house, and Rick, Lori, and Carl, they all get in. Rick tells Shane to drive to the police station because they can get guns there. Rick's just in case. And when they arrive to the police station, some walkers try to attack Rick, but Rick isn't having anything. Rick isn't dealing with this. Rick guns down the walkers that try to attack him, and he gets all the guns and hops back in the car. And they start to drive off, and eventually they get into traffic, and that's where they meet Daryl, Ed, and Sophia. And Ed looks at Rick, and he seems that Ed tells Rick that they can go with him. And Ed isn't saying this just because he thinks Rick and the others are gonna die. Well, they're obviously not, but Ed is worried about himself and he's being selfish, and that's why he's telling them that they can go with him, Carol and Sophia. Shane and Rick actually agree, because the thing is, they don't know that Ed is an abusive husband. So they agree and stuff. So, and after that, they're still stuck in traffic, and they see Atlanta being bombed and stuff. And anyways, the group of Shane, Rick, Lori, Carl, Ed, and Sophia and Carol all get to the Atlanta camp. And they meet everyone they did in the original, except this time there's gonna be no 2 months time skip. That means I'm gonna be making them stay as this. But we don't really know what happened when the group got to the Atlanta camp, so we're just gonna move on to 2 months into the outbreak. So everyone on the rooftop in season 1, episode 2, it's the same there. And this time Rick goes as well, because this time Rick's the leader of the group. So Rick never fires to attract the walkers to them. So when we see Merle killing the walkers with his rifle, T-Dog T-Dog isn't the one to stop him. It's Rick. And Rick tells Merle to stop. But we all know how Merle is. Merle, I'm not sure what he'd do at this point, but Merle is a guy that you don't know what he's gonna do next. So I think he'd not listen, and he'd get into a fight with Rick instead of T-Dog. And Merle is a way better hand-to-hand fighter than Rick. So he beats Rick in this fight, because he did in season 1 at the same time when Rick tried to save T-Dog. And Rick would have to go along with this, because he knows Merle can kill the whole gang right now and there and end it. So Rick and company, they all still make up the same plans and stuff to get out. And this time, Rick accidentally, when it starts raining, when Glenn and Rick are covered in walker guts to get to the land, whatever, or something. And this time when they get the car, they actually rush straight towards the rooftop that the group are on. And Rick and Glenn, they're able to save the others by getting them in the U-Haul and stuff. And they return to camp. The next day at the Atlanta camp, Daryl comes back. And this time, Daryl never fights Rick about them leaving Merle on the roof, because they never really left him in this one. Because, remember, they left him handcuffed to a roof. So Daryl is all chill here. And the group never go out to get the guns that Rick dropped in episode 1 of season 1, because he took all the guns from this police station in episode 1. And we see Ed abusing Carol, and Shane sees this, and Shane isn't too happy with this. He goes up to Ed and punches him in the face, and he the beatdown isn't that brutal though this time, because Carl's there, and Shane doesn't want to be a bad example for Carl, because Shane is a type of guy who we don't know what he is gonna do, and he beats down Ed till he convinces him to, and then Shane says to Ed and Shane tells Ed if he does it ever again, he'll beat him to death. And Shane punches Ed one more time, and Shane only punched Ed 3 times here. That's really nothing compared to the original when he beat up Ed, but we're not gonna get too much into that because this is a different thing. And it becomes nighttime, and the whole group is at the campfire except Daryl, Merle, and Ed. And when the walker goes into Ed's tent, I'm kind of not happy for this one. Thing is, Merle and Daryl being there, they take out the walker. And they alert the group about this, and they all get ready, but that's when something happens. And here's what happened. 2 walkers got the jump on Amy, and she became their meal. And Amy dies here like in the original. And one thing, I don't think Jim gets bit here because there being 5 more people at the Atlanta camp, and they all have guns, actually. So Jim survives here. And the group are all fighting off the walkers. And the group take a moment, after they've killed all the walkers, the group take a moment to take everything in that just happened. And the next day, the group are calming down from what just happened last night. And then Andrea isn't so calm because she just lost her sister. And Dale sharing things about his life to Andrea all goes the same. And this time, there's a change. Morales and his family never leave because Morales thinks they have a better chance of survival if they're with Rick and the others. And here is the group. We have Ed, Carol, Sophia, Morales, Dale, Glenn, T-Dog, Merle, Carl, Alyssa, Lewis, Jim, Amy, Daryl, Rick, Miranda, Lori, Jackie, Andrea, Shane. And please ignore the Amy image I added. I don't know why I did. And anyways, the group go to the CDC. And Dr. Jenner lets them in. And I don't really think anything else would be... Everything else in that, up to episode 6 would go to the same. And in episode 6, the group leave the CDC and Dr. Jenner blows the CDC up with him, and Dr. Jenner blows himself and Jackie up, and the group leave the CDC. And that will be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and bye-bye.